Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
Hello and welcome to ThePrint. I have with me today the Israel ambassador to India, Ron Malka. He's going to speak to us regarding the incident that had happened in front of the Israel embassy, the minor blast that has happened on Friday. However, he's going to speak to us on the India-Israel ties and how are the investigations proceeding. Welcome to ThePrint, Ambassador. Thank you for talking to us.
Good evening, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. So I'll first ask you, as you can understand, there's a lot of question in the minds of people that, such an incident has happened once again. It is not the first time. But if I can start asking you, what's the latest on the investigations at the moment? Some names of some unknown entity has come in the light. What can you share with us?
Well, I can share that as of now, the assumption that we are talking about a terror attack targeting the Israeli embassy is getting stronger. So this is the assumption now. This is a terror attack, a bomb that was meant to harm the Israeli embassy. Mm-hmm. As far as who is standing behind this blast, we still don't know. The investigation is ongoing. Mm-hmm. Just taking all the pieces together and building the puzzle and a more clear picture. Pieces of information, evidence from the scene are gathering together, and as I said, the investigation is extensively growing, and hopefully it will be finalized in the coming future.
Right. So I can understand that, there's been some reports coming up that there's been a note that has been found that's been addressed to you. It's calling it a trailer. What is Israel doing about it? And as you said, that is this being seen as, disturbing the ties between India and Israel? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll start with just generally speaking about that we as representatives of Israel in India and every other place in the world, we know that we are considered targets in the eyes of our enemies. So we are always prepared and always protected. In some sense, so we have a very security arrangements around us, very good, very trustful. Mm-hmm. In the last weeks, due to some incidents that happen around the world, and some of them are related to Israel and some threats that were thrown to the air, we even raised the level of alert. Mm-hmm. So we are always prepared. I cannot say that we were surprised. The threat is always there, and we are ready for it. And now that it's happened, it's fortunate that nobody is hurt. Everybody is safe. We are in full control on the situation. And as I said, the investigation is ongoing.
Mm-hmm. So as you're saying that you're in full control of the situation, let me ask you, there were also reports coming up that the Mossad team will be arriving in Delhi for the investigations. Has that started? Well,
you see, on regular basis, there is a strong collaboration between Israel and India. You mentioned the relations, and we don't know, still not trying to figure out if it's just a coincidence. This attack occurred exactly at the anniversary day of the establishment of full diplomatic relations between Israel and India. Just on Friday, the same day that attack was conducted. We celebrated 29 fruitful years of collaboration, of steadily growing and even rapidly growing partnership between Israel and India that has reached the stage of I would say, strategic partnership.
I was going to say the same thing, that, it happened on a day when India and Israel were celebrating 29 years of diplomatic ties. And we are also hearing that, there are some Iranian links to it. Do you see this as a combined effort, or how do you see this? Would you like to elaborate a little bit on that? Which are those countries that are trying to disrupt the ties between the two?
That's what we are trying to figure out. So, of course, there are immediate suspects, but still, all the options, what our experience told us, that we should not jump to conclusions. We need to finalize the investigation, and then we'll have a clearer picture So we are very careful now before we make any assumptions and decisions about who is standing behind that. So of course we have some directions of investigation, but once we finalize the investigation, we'll know who is standing behind that and we'll bring them to justice. There are some options, some of them we just mentioned, but until we finish, we will not know for sure who is standing behind it.
Mm-hmm. Also, Ambassador, since 2008 Mumbai attacks, and we've all seen what had happened at the Chabad House, since then, a lot of intelligence sharing, information sharing between both sides was strengthened. Despite that, what happened this Friday, are you going to discuss that with India in the sense that, do you see this as a lapse on the part of the Indian agencies?
No, you see the collaboration, as I said, is steadily growing and expanding, and it's based on mutual trust and mutual respect between Israel and India. Also in counterterrorism, of course, we share not only information, but experience and practices. So it's been ongoing with not any connection to this last incident. So the collaboration and the partnership between Israel and India has been going for a long time. So the Indian authorities are conducting this probe. I think they are advancing very well. They put all the efforts that are needed just, to finalize in a proper way this probe. And of course, if they need any assistance, support, information, or whatever is there from Israel, I'm sure that Israel will provide and help to finalize this investigation.
Mm-hmm. So, as I can, if I can ask you that our External Affairs Minister, Jaishankar, he spoke with your Foreign Minister. There's been discussion at the level of the two NSAs as well. What are the assurances that you've got from the Indian government that this won't be sort of repeated again? Or do you think that, more the relationship thrives, the more it will be subjected to attacks like this?
So it's all of that. So first, we feel very safe here in India. The Minister of External Affairs, Dr. Jaishankar, and also the NSA called their counterparts, our Minister of Foreign Affairs, Gabi Ashkenazi, and our NSA, and assured them that they are going to take all the measures, whatever is needed, to protect the Israelis that are in India, the representatives of Israel in India, and of course to finalize the investigation in a proper way. So, and we are sure for that. So, these kinds of incidents, not only that they don't harm their relations, they even bring us closer with a better partnership. And of course, whoever feels threatened by the expanding and growing and flourishing relations between Israel and India will not get his target, because we are going to extend it more and, of course, to thrive and to prosper together.
So if I can understand you correctly, you are saying this kind of incidents will not be impacting the growing India-Israel diplomatic ties and even the strategic ties, right?
Yes, of course. It's going to strengthen them even more than what they are now. So yes, of course, this will not be able to.
Mm-hmm. Also, let me ask you, have the prime ministers been able to speak to themselves after the incident has happened? Has there been any phone call from Prime Minister Modi to your prime minister, or any other way? Will the leaders be updated about what's happening?
Well, of course, see, our prime ministers have such a good and genuine friendship. I think that many leaders from the world are looking to that, to see how two leaders can be such good friends and such close friends, and as I said, a warm friendship. So there's always a mutual updating, and they are in close relations and connections, and they talk from time to time, and there's always conversations about all the issues that are in top priority for both countries, and we share many interests and values. So of course, they are always updating each other, and as I said, the collaboration is very deep and wide.
Mm-hmm. Ambassador, my last question to you will be, next year will be a completion of like 3 decades of India-US diplomatic ties, 30 years. Are we expecting anything big to happen in terms of elevating the relationship? What are the plans that are sort of, you can share with us? I know it's too early, but I'm sure you're discussing this at the diplomatic channels.
Sure we do. India is, as I said, a genuine and a very precious friend of Israel. So of course we're thinking about that. And yes, many ideas, many initiatives, very creative ideas, how we can expand. You know, when something works so well, when it's so fruitful and so rewarding, you want to have more of it. So that's what we are going to do, to have more of it in all sectors and all levels. For example, take the very successful mutual agriculture project between Israel and India. We have now 29 functioning centers of excellence in agriculture. We are going to expand it to take this successful project to its next stage, growing from centers of excellence to villages and areas of excellence. And we started a big water project. It's a flagship water project of water management in UP. And once we conclude this one, it will be successful because it's a proven concept from Israel. We are going to replicate it to many, many places here in India. And this is only two examples. Many, many of them are there. For example, we are going to nominate just on May for the first time a water attaché and water experts from Israel that will be sitting based here in the embassy in Delhi. These are all steps that we take forward to extend, to deepen the relations that are already very wide and very big. You mentioned the relations between the prime ministers, which of course support and give us a very strong backwind, but now the relations are between people to people. So many engagements, so many collaborations between companies, between people, Indians and Israelis. So now it's been so wide and so deep that now, irrespective of what will be the political developments, which parties, which individuals will be there, the relations are going to thrive. They are there to stay. And this is, I think, the herald that we are coming to, is the finalizing 3 decades of very fruitful, steadily growing relations.
Mm-hmm. Ambassador, since you spoke about the agricultural cooperation, I believe even in the health sector, a lot is being now, being worked out between both sides, especially after the pandemic, on the vaccines and other things. Can you share some information on that for our viewers?
Of course. Israel and India are world leaders in science and technology. Just lately under the pandemic, as you mentioned, we joint efforts, we did joint research on COVID-19. Our scientists are working together, especially scientists from Israeli MOD and India MOD working together. And it's on a continuous, daily level, collaborating, sharing experience, knowledge, consulting each other. And of course, now it's focusing more on healthcare due to the circumstances. And this is only getting wider and wider. And of course, we are going to see many of these. Just lately, we shared the latest medical equipment that we developed for COVID-19. We brought all this medical equipment here to India. We shared it with AIMS Hospital. And also, we are going to share with Primus Hospital. So hospitals here in India already have the latest technology of Israel for fighting COVID-19, healthcare technology. For fighting COVID-19, and this is only the beginning. It's going to be endless.
Well, thank you so much, Ambassador Malka. Thank you for talking to The Print. Please take care and stay safe.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.